you ever wondered if Miss Marvel has story connections to Absolute Carnage? In Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan is trying to find her place where she belongs. Also, with Absolute Carnage, Eddie is trying to find his place where he belongs, and he's also trying to save the world. There are obviously many differences with Absolute Carnage and MsMarvel, but there are still similarities. Take a look at this to get a little preview of what Absolute Carnage is.
What's so exciting for me about Absolute Carnage is not only does this touch on almost every Spider-Man character we've ever seen over the course of Marvel history, it touches on almost every character in the Marvel Universe. No character is going to be left untouched by Absolute Carnage.
Absolute Carnage is being created by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, the Dynamite team behind the most recent volume of Venom. Not only do they bring their own tremendous energies to the game, but they're really elevating each other, which is one of the most exciting parts of the project. And I can't forget to mention Frank Martin, who's doing some of the coloring work of his career.
If you look at us on Twitter, there's not a team in comics that is on the same page as much as Stegman and I are. I think the fans get so excited when they see a creative team that is just both all in and are both such huge fans of the series and fans of where it's going.
Really what Donny and Ryan have done here, beyond all the cool explosive action, is that they're reintroducing Cletus Cassidy into the Marvel Universe. One of my favorite parts about Absolute Carnage #1 is that when Venom comes face to face with Carnage for the first time, readers get to see that. Readers get to be there and experience that with him, so readers are going to get a sense of how massive and scary and dangerous this new threat is.
So many amazing artists have worked on Carnage. He's a tough character to bring to life, given the symbiotic nature of his costumes and how it moves, but the way that Ryan Stegman is approaching it is going to redefine the look of Carnage for the next generation.
We've given a serial murderer a nuclear bomb, essentially, and Cletus is going to try and kill every single character that has ever worn a symbiote, which, if you've been reading Marvel Comics, is damn near everyone. So everyone is a target, and I can guarantee you that not everyone's going to make it out.
Alright, welcome back from that little short video. So, there are plenty of similarities between Absolute Carnage and Ms. Marvel. The biggest thing that these two have in common are their villains, because they're both Frankenstein creatures. Now, the Frankenstein creature in Absolute Carnage is, well, Carnage himself, because he slowly, and you see over time, start turning into this giant skeleton creature who is basically filled with all these symbiotes, and they're all together inside this one man named Cletus Cassidy, who's done lots of bad things and stuff like that. And in Ms. Marvel, Thomas Edison is a clone that had his DNA contaminated with a pet cockatiel. What really helps these two villains is the mindset of their goal, which is to stay out of their way or you will die trying to stop them. There are still some similarities between the two of them. These two villains are both mentally unstable in the head, because in Ms. Marvel, Thomas Edison is basically a mad scientist with all of the creations that he's made. He has the ability to make these things that control the minds of these alligators, and you'll see in some of the pictures that in the story, that they have like stuff on their head, like lights and stuff, and almost like radars, sound scanners, and so he can find out who's there and whatnot. And with Absolute Carnage, he has the ability to turn anyone he wants to into one of his minions. And the best way to tell that they're one of his minions is the spiral on their forehead, which means they're controlled by him and will follow him wherever he goes. Now, they also both have the power to overthrow the Avengers. Because in Absolute Carnage, you will see how they just absolutely, completely overthrow the Avengers and almost destroy the entire Avengers crew. With Edison's ability, he's got the control to keep the alligators awake without them ever going to sleep. And so yes, there are definitely a bunch of ways these two villains are in common. There's also another way these two stories are in common is where they take place, which they both take place in New York, as where most, I wouldn't say all, but most Marvel comics take place. And, of course, these two villains are both absolutely crazy. And they both have people trying to stop them. In Absolute Carnage, you have Eddie and a bunch of the Avengers and stuff, and everybody from the MCU or MCC, whatever it would be, to try and stop Absolute Carnage from waking the god, Null. And in Ms. Marvel, you have Kamala Khan trying to stop Thomas Edison and all these creations that he's made and stuff to keep her city safe and protect the world, and doing it under her own circumstances and beliefs. And there's still plenty that you can see in similarities. Thank you.